And document my trades for today. PA today was complete trash. It was this whole morning session. I mean, look at ES. It literally took a shit all morning. Rest of the day wasn't quite as bad, but I mean, today was a day I could see people spiraling out. Which I'm glad my risk management was on point. It's days like today that make you really realize how important that is, because I mean, literally 2 or 3 months ago I could have seen myself completely spiraling out today. So this morning it seemed super clear to me where the draw was. It ended up taking it, but after this move. So the reason I entered this trade here, this was my first trade in the morning. Open was right. I entered right at open because we pumped up. Let me show you the area that I was looking at. The reason why I wanted a long here. So let me take off my trade executions. That's something I want to come back to, is talk about my executions and why they weren't very good. So what I was looking at this morning looked like an A+ setup to the for longs. I mean, right here we had an SMT. Yeah, so you see this is the SMT I'm referring to right here. So then zooming in, or actually before I zoom in, so the reason why I wanted to enter here was because we had this hourly fair value gap that lined up with this 1 hour breaker, which made it a unicorn setup. So we had this breaker here, we had this fair value gap here, sorry, let me mark this out. Unicorn entry. So zooming into the 1 minute, we come down here, I'm watching. I want to see, I figured there would be manipulation here. And by the way, I don't think this was a bad setup at all. It was just unfortunate that it wanted to manipulate the lows one more time before heading to my original target. But if we look at my executions, so I entered right when I saw this big move up. I thought we were going to pump right away. So I entered on this 1 minute volume imbalance kind of fair value gap situation going on right here. Yeah, so I entered off this imbalance originally. I had a loose stop on this. My stop was at these lows right here, which do look like good targets, but I really saw it on the hourly. We looked so bullish, and this was a clear draw for me, and we were going into a unicorn setup. I mean, this action was really shit. Now, this wasn't bad. I think I went in a little too heavy right here. I think I got a little trigger happy with my entries. I scaled off some here at this high, and this is where I kind of went wrong. So the only reason I really scaled anything at this high was just because we've had this bullshit here. And so then I was barely in any cons, and then the rest got stopped at break even actually. So my fill was, sorry, I had my fill a little lower than it was. It's not letting me change it, but so the rest got stopped at break even right here by this wick. And then I noticed we were holding this this imbalance here, so I jumped in long about here. I liked the RR on this, but honestly, after noticing this kind of action, I should have waited for a big clear move up and then a come down into this kind of break or order block situation to look for longs. I think this was way early, and not gonna lie, I was a little emotional, just because I was pissed about this action because the setup looked so good. So I was looking for these longs here and just got railed. Yeah, I entered right about here. So that was a loss. I took a slight win on this, I guess. Not really. Loss here. This loss pretty much ate up the win. Not even a win. I'm not even calling this a win because just there was a whole... When the market is in good conditions, the setups are clear. And this is horrible conditions here, and I shouldn't have entered anything here. The RR was good. It wasn't a horrible idea, but I need a big move up next time, because this doesn't tell me anything. This is just continuing to consolidate. Anyway, I was very surprised that we broke through this unicorn here. My target got taken, which is good, I guess, that I had the correct draw on liquidity. I thought this SMT here would hold, but we took out this low. All this kind of resting buy side. And my second trade, it wasn't bad, but I had a really good RR on the first kind of entry. I saw us holding this fair value gap here, right? And we had another SMT at these lows. I was actually watching ICT's live, and he actually took a short here, which was a fucking dog shit trade, honestly. I don't know why he would do that. SMT at the lows, holding this 1 minute fair value gap. We get this push up, and I'm looking at this one minute imbalance and discount. And when we get that push up out of there, as I entered right here, tight stop just at the low, and I scaled. I only went in one contract. This is the problem. This is an entry in which I'm sure we pump up to at least this high. So there is no point in me only entering one contract, because I should be scaling. Now, if I did enter multiple contracts, I could have scaled off something here. I actually scaled it a little higher than this high just because I was only in one. And then my stop would have been at break even, and I would have had a winning trade. But instead, since I only entered one, I sold up here, and then I was looking to buy back in this fair value gap, thinking I was a pro or something. But anyway, so I buy back up in here. This was my biggest trade of the day. I mean, it was 3 cons, and I was more in ES, but obviously NQ hits harder. And so basically this trade stopped here, and then I had this long here. Where did I get stopped at? And my stop, I gave this one a little bit more room just because I was pretty confident these highs looked super clean, but this was just going to be my first take profit here. And I was going to take those all the way to the high of day, which did end up playing out at the end of the day, but I think next time my initial entry can't be one contract anymore. And also, I should have just called it at that. I mean, I should have waited. I think this entry was not good. We were in a premium, and if I had just been more patient rather than just taking a random fair value gap, seen this stop raid, and then maybe turtle souped this to this high, I don't know. That's not really my type of trade, and it didn't really give a good entry. But looking back, I want to see if there were any other entries I could have taken today take my executions off the chart. I'm going to zoom out. I want to make sure I mark in this SMT here. SMT at the lows. Right. Actually, technically, the SMT got broken. Either way, there was an SMT here. A bunch of SMTs today. Whenever we have this shitty ass action, there's going to be SMTs on both sides. There were SMTs at the highs, lows. Super dog shit. But going forward, I'm going to look at the 15 minute. Since we're at all-time highs, I'm trying to stay away from even the hourly, honestly. But, okay. So SMT. Okay, so this 15-minute fair value gap mixed with the breaker here. This is a unicorn entry. Is that a... Looks like it would be an SMT, but it's not. So this is actually just an order block. This looks good though. Oh fuck. Oh, good thing market's closed. I accidentally hit the buy button. Fuck. Come down. Dig into this fair value gap. Right here could have been an entry. Even then, it doesn't really give a clear entry. Like, if it were to pump up here and then come back down into this fair value gap, I would have had my limit right there. Maybe here. But yeah, today was not good. Glad I kept my risk management rules pretty solid. I think I could have been less emotional with re-entering. So yeah, that's what I need to work on going forward. I don't think any trade I took today was necessarily bad. I think my reactions to getting stopped out or not hitting my TPs kind of made me emotional, which is something I really need to work on. My entries were clean. I think both setups I took today were good, and I'm not mad at the losses. I'm just mad at I'm not mad, but I need to work on the way I react to the way my trade plays out, and I can't let that affect the next trade. Like when I took this long. This is a time in which I need to wait. Once we come up here and reject here, I need more of a reaction out of here. This is no displacement. We come up and come right back down to then take out these lows, to take out this internal high again one more time, just to come down all the way back to the lows. I'm curious, did these get swept? Okay, so some equal lows going into tomorrow. But yeah, pretty loose buys for the rest of the week. Tomorrow morning we have news which should spice up the market a little bit and give us some better action than we got today. Today was definitely a day that really shows how good your risk management is, and I'm glad I didn't spiral out of control and only took good setups. So yeah, that's about it. Peace.